How badly has COVID-19 affected real estate? Stay tuned.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Welcome back to Real Estate on the Lam, bringing you the latest market information, some predictions, and a few other nuggets along the way. Hi, I'm Lambros Demos from Royal LePage, and to say these are challenging times is an understatement. None of us in our lifetime has experienced anything like this pandemic before. Let me be clear, I do not want to dismiss in any way, shape, or form the challenges we are facing as a global community from a health perspective. It is very serious and very real. The COVID-19 crisis, along with social distancing, is affecting people, however, in more ways than one. Here at home, we have seen many things canceled or shut down. We have seen people lose their jobs. We have seen government stimulus and assistance programs. So the economy is certainly being affected, and real estate is a large part of that economy. As a professional working in the industry, I believe I have a responsibility to my clients and to the general public to help you as best as I can as far as housing is concerned, and do whatever I can do to keep you informed and help guide you through it all. Let's start by looking at the recent stats and how they have changed over the last 90 days. January and February now seem like an eternity ago, but if you recall, the GTA market was on fire. We saw year over year and month over month double-digit percentage increases in both home sales and prices. On this chart behind me, you can see showing activity steadily increasing, as it should, from early January to early March. Then COVID-19 came knocking, and we saw activity start to drop. It wasn't until about mid-March, however, that we started taking coronavirus seriously. And that's when schools were shut down, pro sports leagues were canceled, etc. And this is when people started staying home and real estate activity dropped significantly. The next significant drop came around March 22nd, when the Ontario government forced all non-essential businesses to close. As you can see at the end there, activity seems to have leveled off or hit the bottom, as there hasn't been much change between the last week of March and the first week of April. When showing activity goes down, so too does the number of sales. This chart behind me shows a similar decrease in sales volume from January to early April. You can see the same pattern as sales went up consistently until about mid-March and then started to decline sharply. The reason for this decline is twofold. Obviously, more people are staying home and not buying houses right now, but there are also fewer properties on the market, as this next chart will show us. Here we can see the number of listings increase, as it should, in March. Had it not been for COVID-19, the number of listings would have continued higher as we entered the spring market. Coronavirus had other plans, however, as you can see here, and took many sellers out of the market, as well as buyers. So not only has demand decreased, but so has supply. What does this mean for prices then? The best way to look at the effect on prices is to break down March into pre-COVID and post-COVID activity. As you can see in the chart above me, in the first 2 weeks of March 2020, we saw an increase in the number of sales from March 2019 by almost 50%. In the second 2 weeks of March, however, the number of sales dropped almost 16% from last year to this year. Same thing for listings. In the first 2 weeks of March, supply went up about 33%, but in the second 2 weeks, it fell by just over 18%. Finally, prices increased by almost 17% year over year in the first 2 weeks of March, and by only 10.5% in the second 2 weeks of March. I say only, not because 10.5% is a small appreciation, because it's not. In an average market, that is actually a large jump for prices year over year. I say only because, compared to where prices were going, it shows a softening of price appreciation, but not necessarily prices themselves. Yes, prices may have stagnated or even dropped slightly month over month, but they are far from dropping significantly year over year. I don't expect the bottom to fall out. Remember, we have low demand, but we also have low supply. The market is on pause right now until this passes and people are once again comfortable going out to look at houses from a safety perspective as well as from an economic perspective. If there's a silver lining to all this, it is that COVID-19 has put a damper on price appreciation, keeping home prices in check, at least for the time being. In my opinion, the real estate market was getting out of control and prices were going up too quickly, so something was bound to happen sooner or later. Once the pandemic is over, however, and real estate activity picks up again, look for home prices to continue their upward trend. We have very strong fundamentals here in the GTA, things such as low interest rates, tight supply, high immigration, and more prudent mortgage qualifying methods introduced over recent years that I believe will keep the real estate market thriving in the long term. For more information, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd love to hear from you. You may call, text, email, or even post a comment in the section below. The coffee meeting will have to wait, however, unless you want to do it virtually, and I'd be happy to do so anytime. I'm always here to answer your questions and keep you informed. Before I go, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the frontline workers out there, doctors, nurses, all hospital medical personnel, EMTs, police, firefighters, delivery drivers, truckers, factory workers, grocery store workers, the list goes on. Many of us have the privilege of staying home, but you're out there working hard and fighting to keep the rest of us safe, so we really appreciate that. For those non-essential workers out there, please stay home so that these heroes, I will call them, can continue to do their jobs without unnecessary risk. Thanks for watching, have a great day everybody, and stay safe.
You got it.